Have you ever thought, wait, if I don't have a guarantor, can I even rent an apartment in Japan? Today, I'm breaking down Japan's guarantor system and show you real ways to rent even without a guarantor. Stick around until the end, because I'll also share some extra tips to make your move to Japan way smoother. First, let's break down this whole guarantor thing. What is it, and why is it such a big deal in Japan? When you rent an apartment here, landlords usually ask you to bring a guarantor. Think of a guarantor as your financial backup. If you suddenly stop paying rent, or if you cause damage to the apartment and can't afford the repairs, the guarantor is legally responsible to pay instead of you. From the landlord's perspective, it's like insurance. They don't have to worry if something goes wrong because someone else is on the hook. That's why it's so common to hear, please prepare a guarantor before signing the lease. But here's the catch, not everyone qualifies to be a guarantor. Usually it has to be someone living in Japan, often a family member or close relative, and they need stable income. On top of that, the guarantor themselves gets checked. If they've had money troubles, like unpaid loans or rent problems, the landlord can reject them. So yeah, it's not a small favor, it's a huge responsibility. And here's the problem. For foreigners, finding someone like that is almost impossible, and it gets even trickier. Did you know there's a difference between a guarantor and a joint guarantor? A regular guarantor is usually responsible only for unpaid rent, but a joint guarantor, their responsibilities are way bigger. They might be forced to cover damages, legal costs, or even deal with noise complaints. And here's the scariest part. The landlord can go directly to the joint guarantor for money without even asking the tenant first. So imagine being asked to be a joint guarantor. Even Japanese people usually say, no thanks, it's just too much risk. Now put yourself in the shoes of a foreigner. You've just moved to Japan, you don't have family here, and asking a friend to take on that level of financial responsibility. Honestly, it's not realistic. Even if you do have relatives here, some landlords have rules like, foreigners can't be guarantors, and of course, everything is in Japanese, so the language barrier makes the whole process even harder. So yeah, the guarantor system is one of the biggest challenges foreigners face when renting in Japan. But don't give up just yet because there are actually ways around it. Alright, here's the part you've been waiting for. 5 real ways to rent in Japan without a guarantor. Option 1. Public Guarantor Introduction Programs. Certain organizations, like the Housing Support Foundation, can introduce guarantors for you. Foreigners with a residence card or permanent residency can sometimes apply. The downside? You can only rent from the properties connected to these organizations. So if you want more freedom in location or style, this option is pretty limited. Option 2. Guarantor-free apartments. Some real estate agencies specialize in helping foreigners. For example, move-in partners directly with guarantor companies. That means you don't need a personal guarantor, you just go through their screening process. And once you pass, you can pick the area and apartment you want. This gives you a lot more freedom compared to option 1. Option 3. Management companies that act as guarantors. In this case, the property management company itself steps in as the guarantor. But this usually applies only to the apartments they manage. And there's usually a fee, sometimes half to a full month's rent. Option 4. Professional guarantor companies. This is the most common and practical choice. You pay a fee, typically 50% to 100% of 1 month's rent, and they become your guarantor. The great thing is, most rental properties in Japan accept this system, and more companies are now supporting foreigners, even offering multilingual services. Option 5. Company housing. If you're working in Japan, some employers offer company apartments. Basically, the company signs the contract for you, and you just move in. No guarantor needed, sometimes fully furnished, and way less hassle. Of course, the catch is it's only available if your company provides it. So, if you're starting a new job in Japan, make sure to ask, do you provide company housing? There you go, 5 different options. Which one works best really depends on your situation. Now, let's zoom in 3 key points to keep when using a guarantor company. There are a few things you absolutely need to check. The first one is language support. Does the company actually support foreigners? Some offer English, Chinese, Korean, or even Vietnamese. That makes communication way easier. The second one is screening process. They'll look at your income, visa type, and sometimes job stability. If their requirements are too strict, you might not get approved. The third one is fees. Usually it's 50 to 100% of 1 month's rent. On top of that, some companies charge renewal fees every year, or even small monthly service fees. Make sure you know the total cost before signing. Some guarantor companies also provide lifestyle support, like helping with emergencies or handling disputes with your landlord. Choosing one with good support can make your life in Japan much easier. But there are risks too. If you don't pass the screening, you can't use the service. The costs can add up faster than expected. And if you don't pay rent, the guarantor company will come after you, sometimes even with legal action. And yes, in rare cases, guarantor companies have gone bankrupt. That's why it's important to pick a reliable one. So, guarantor companies are useful, but you still need to be careful. Renting through a guarantor company is one option, but if your employer offers company housing, that's honestly the easiest, safest, and most cost-effective choice. It's like hitting 3 birds with 1 stone. Of course, not every company has this system, so if you've landed a job in Japan, I really recommend asking right away. Does your company provide housing or leased apartments for employees? Alright, let's bring it all together. In Japan, guarantors are usually required to rent an apartment, but for foreigners, finding one can be almost impossible. The good news is there are options: guarantor-free apartments, guarantor companies, or company housing. The key takeaway: choose the method that fits your situation, and work with trustworthy, foreigner-friendly services. And always double-check the fees and conditions before signing anything. Knowing this will save you a lot of stress and make your move in Japan so much smoother. On mooovin, you can search for apartments in Japan from anywhere in the world. We offer support in Japanese, English, Chinese, and Vietnamese. So be sure to check out our official website from the link in the description. If you thought this video was helpful or interesting, please subscribe and hit the like button. Well then, see you in the next video. I'm cheering with all my heart for your happy life in Japan. Bye bye.